Okay, so what am I doing? Good question. It's one of those days, you ever get out of the bed in the morning and the brain just doesn't engage. But however, there's something I've been meaning to do with a file. I got one of these to fit on here. I was going to get a DRO system, but I need a big long glass for this, the other side and that, which I don't really use. However, I see Double Boost has a smaller one fitted on his mill. He's very happy with it. It's fairly accurate. So with that, they're very reasonable price-wise. So the trick is trying to fit it on here. Like I said, the brain isn't working too great today. Now, it has points here on both ends, and that would be great. But the problem is, even if we go another way around, no matter which way you go with it, my problem is this will catch here and here, so I need to raise it a bit, and by doing that I'm bringing it out a bit. Once I can get above those things, I was half thinking get the angle grinder and take a fucking lump off of these things, but that would be rough. And if you want to do a decent job, you'd have to take this whole fucking thing off and get it over on the mill or something to do a decent job. So the plan at the minute is just to make brackets for both ends, then figure something for here to nail it on there. So I'll go and work on that and see how I get on, and we'll come back to it. Okay, so I got this thing working, got it fitted. Here's the cover I made for it now. I just have it sitting on top there at the minute. But this is what it's like fitted. Had to do a lot of fiddling around with it to get it working accurately. Everything has to be true. This has to be true with the run of the reader. I had a bit of a problem because where the reader is attached down here on the saddle, it's not a plumb or level surface, so I had to do a lot of shimming on it here. But I've got to the point where I'm very happy with it. Over 10 millimeters, even 20 millimeters, using dial indicators, it's accurate to within 100 of a millimeter. Now you lose that 100 on the initial start. From once you power it up and say set it to 0 or whatever, or once you start moving, you're going to lose 100 in the first movement. After that, once it stays on, that is another problem. The damn thing cuts out after, I don't know, maybe 2 minutes or something like that. But when you power it up, it goes back to exactly where it was. But again, on the first movement, you're losing that 100. It's just a problem in it. Now, I was losing a lot more until I got this really set up well. It's a bit finicky in that line. It's a bit tricky. You spend a lot of time at it. But right now, I'm quite happy with it. That is the only problem. I don't see anywhere to adjust how long it stays on. Now again, it's only those small cell 32, 30s or 30, 32s, whatever they are, button batteries that go in it. There was absolutely no instructions with it. Absolutely none. Nothing. It's something you just work it out as you go. It's something I have to look at to see if there's some way I can set it up to stay on. But as I say, you're only losing that 100, that first 100. You just have to allow for that. So if you're going in half a millimeter, go half a millimeter in 100, and you're spot on as you keep traveling. Now I would have been better off, I think, if I had gone for the 300mm, the shorter one, because I've only 225mm of travel on this thing, and the reader is about 70mm, so that gives you 5mm to play with, probably another little bit in the way you'd set it up, and this would have been a lot shorter. This is a bit flimsy. You'd be surprised it doesn't take a lot to, you know, move it out, but unfortunately you can't put anything here because you're going to get jammed on the reader. I would have got away with the 300, but I have the 500 again. Price was very right, didn't cost an arm and a leg. So that's how I set it up. I just made these two brackets, one for either end, screwed it on, used dial indicators to make sure that it was traveling, you know, absolutely plumb, and then to get the reader squared up with it. If the reader is the smallest little bit off, a fraction off, you're going to have problems. But by spending time with it, it's well worth it. I mean, for the price in comparison, if I had to put a full DRO system on here, like you're talking about a major job, you know, you'd have to use a long glass. It's mostly what I need reading is on my travel across the saddle. As for travelling along here, I normally just measure it out with a marker, use the stopper for the stop, you know, where you need to stop, and you can be fairly accurate with stuff like that. So that's it. It was easy enough to set up. It wasn't a major headache or nuisance or anything. So I'm dead happy with it. Like I say, it is accurate, but you've got to spend time on it. So I put my cover back on. It's part of an old washing machine. I salvaged this little piece off it. So just bolt all that back down again, and happy days.